Unusual money making. You guys loved the last episode I did, so we are back today with another one. Instead of just finding random money makers around the game though, we're going to focus on the achievement diaries, because believe it or not, there are some perks that the achievement diaries give that make you straight up fat stacks, man. Now, I know what you're thinking. Yeah, we know about these. The Mauritania diaries gives 50% more runes of barrows, extra Mortmire fungus, the Wildy diary gives you noted Zammy wines. Now, you're not wrong. These are some awesome ways to make money off the achievement diary perks. 50% more runes at barrows means your average barrows chest goes up by around 17k, making your profit close to 1 million GP per hour in the current meta. Double Mortmire fungus is a super good moneymaker if you've got very little to work with. Currently, the profit per hour of doing this is around 800k an hour. Assuming you don't die, the noted Zammy wine spawn you get after completing the Wilderness Hard diaries gives you a pretty solid 600k an hour. But the thing is, these methods are not what this series is about, because here, we're all about the unusual ways to make money. The methods you didn't think of ever doing that actually might make you some decent profits. So without further ado, let's see what secret profitable methods we've got waiting for us on the achievement diaries. Also, very quickly, the next time I do one of these unusual money making method videos, I will be doing it based off of your guys' methods. So the methods you guys maybe have found back in the day or even to this day that can make you some unusual profits. So in the comment section below, let me know what your method is, and the next video I do, I'll make sure to credit you and we can test out these methods. So enjoy the video. After completing the Hard Wilderness Diary, you unlock the reward of getting 50% more lava shards per lava scale. Lava scale shards are used when creating extended anti-fires and extended super anti-fires. So you get this pretty heavy increase in shards per scale, and this is big because it means that every time you use a pestle and mortar on a lava scale shard, you have a very good chance of making profit. To test this, I bought 1000 lava scale shards for 3020 GP each. And then I just went to town at the Grand Exchange with my pestle and mortar, and I mean, I went crazy. Now the thing is, the method is pretty brain dead. I mean, you just spam click over and over and over again. You know, carpal tunnel and arthritis might be side effects, but hey, you're making money. To do this, I pretty much just had a noted stack of these lava scales in my inventory, and every time I wanted more of them, I would just use them on a banker and then withdraw, you know, the unnoted versions of it. And I also had a pestle and mortar in the bottom right-hand corner of my inventory, and then I pretty much would just place it right above a lava scale, and like I said, just click back and forth, back and forth. It's very quick. It's a no delay thing, so you can do this very quickly. 1000 of these lava scale shards took 15 minutes to grind up, and after grinding them up, I sold them on the GE for 398 GP each, which means that I made 3,562,896 GP. Like I said earlier, I bought 1000 lava scales for 3020 GP each, which means that I spent 3,020,000 GP, which means that if you look at these two pictures, we made over 500k in 15 minutes. Which means that if you were to do this consistently for an entire hour, you'd be making over 2 million GP an hour. 2 million GP an hour simply standing at the bank and grinding. I was pretty caught off guard by this one because it's not every day that you come across a 2 mil an hour money making method. So I mean, I have to say, of all the unusual money makers I've done, this is by far the most profitable one ever. So we have a massive thumbs up for this method. After completing certain diaries, you'll gain access to some free daily items. You'll get more of these items the higher tier of diary you have completed. Here's everything that you can get for free daily from these diaries. Wizard Crumperty from the Artie diary gives you 250 pure essence. The Flax Keeper from the Kandarin diary exchanges 250 flax to bowstring. Theris from the Karen diary gives you 80 dynamite. Rance from the Western Province diary gives you 150 ogre arrows. Lundale from the Woody diary gives you 50 random runes. And Bert from the Artie diary sends 84 buckets of sand to your bank every day. So those are the free items that you can collect every day, and you guys all probably know about the battle staves one as well. Zaf and Varrock sells discounted battle staves for 7,000 GP each. If you have the Elite Varrock diary done, you can buy 120 of these, which means that you can make close to 1,000 GP profit per staff if you sell it back on the Grand Exchange. So now that we have everything, let's sell it on the GE and see how much we make. Alright, 182k, just like that. So if you do this every day for a week, you'll make over 1.2 mil. If you do this every day for a month, you'll make 5.4 mil. So pretty much A bond. People are always looking for easy ways to keep up a bond that maybe doesn't involve a lot of PVM, and this is a perfect way of doing it. The pure essence really wasn't worth that much, and I only got fire runes as my random runes from Lundale, which could have been death or blood runes. Surprisingly, the bowstring and ogre arrows actually sold really well for a great price, and the thing is, flax is so incredibly cheap these days. I think it's worth 2 GP each in the Grand Exchange that you can just buy 500 GP worth of flax, so 250 total flax, trade it in for bowstring every day, and make like 45k profit. Walking away with over 180,000 GP for about 10 minutes worth of work and, being able to do this every single day and then at the end of the month have enough for a bond, I feel like this is a pretty solid one, boys. The Desert Diary gives you the ability to get more charges on your Pharaoh Sceptre when you charge it with the Mummy at Pyramid Plunder. Now you would think that by adding gold seals to the Sceptre to charge it that it would go up in price, right? Well, I thought so too, until I did exactly that and I lost money trying it out. The weird thing about this method is that you actually need to uncharge the scepters to make money. Yeah, you heard that correctly. You don't charge the scepters, you actually have to uncharge them to make money. I was still pretty skeptical about this because it seemed too weird to be true, so I put in an offer for 10 charged Pharaoh Scepters for 5.22 mil each, and they bought after about 25 minutes. And now we have to go a bit crazy, because you have to spam click the scepters until they run out of charges, so lots of desert teleporting. The cool thing about the Pharaoh Scepter teleport is that if you click quickly enough between the two teleports, your teleport animation will only show once, but you'll end up in 2 places. For example, if I click the Agility Pyramid teleport, but then I quickly click on the Pyramid Plunder teleport, it shows me starting the animation to the Agility Pyramid, but ending up in the Pyramid Plunder thing, which is really strange. I don't know why it does this, but it looks pretty cool. It took like 5 minutes just to spam teleport until all of the scepters had run out of charges, and then I threw them on the Grand Exchange for 5.25 mil, and they all sold within an hour. And guess what? I made profit. I made 170k buying 10 charged Pharaoh Scepters, uncharging them, then reselling them as uncharged scepters. That was kind of hard to say. That's unusual, man. That is exactly what this series is about. But I've got to say though, the profit margin is pretty slim since you have to pay attention to the pretty volatile buy and sell prices, but we made money, and that's what matters. I'm sure when you think of the Western Elite Diaries, you think of the awful grind of having to kill 1,000 Chompys. I've had to do it 3 times now, and it's just the worst. Getting a lot of Ogre Bellows, then constantly having to bloat some toads, drop them, kill Chompys, and repeat the process. It's pretty rough, but did you know that every time you kill a Chompy, their juicy meat is actually worth something? Yeah, raw Chompy meat sells for almost 1,000 GP per raw Chompy, so technically, if you're really thirsty for money, you could collect all 1,000 raw Chompy meats and make some super great profit on your way to finishing the diary. But as you can imagine, there are some downsides, the biggest one being the time it takes to bank the Chompys and then run all the way back to the hunting spot. The second one is that you do have a chance to spawn 2 Chompys at once, but you only unlock that ability after you complete the Elite Western Province Diary. So realistically, the only time you'll be banking a lot of these at a time is if you decide to go for the Chompy Pet Post Diary or go for the special 4,000 Chompy Kill Hunter hat. I'm not that big of a fan of this one, but hey, the next time you guys see some succulent, juicy Chompy meat on the ground, think twice about not picking it up because you might make some nice GP off it. Meh. Up next, we are on our way to Lumbridge. So after the completion of the Lumbridge and Draenor Elite Diary, you get a 20% discount on items in the Culinarimancer's chest. In the chest, we have chocolate, cheese, tomatoes, apples, grapes, flowers, bowls, jugs, pots, a lot of things, pretty much a ratatouille heaven. The food items in this chest sell for super cheap. I mean, apples and grapes are 1 GP each, and then we have cheese and tomatoes that are going for 5 GP each. Now, the nice thing is that a lot of these things are used for things like farming payments, like the cooking apples, or, a very popular cooking method is just buying grapes and turning them to wine, and you can get them in this chest for very, very cheap. We are going to be focusing on the pots of flowers and tomatoes since at the moment they have the best profit margin. Tomatoes are currently selling for 122 GP each on the Grand Exchange, and flour is selling for 112. Now the method here is pretty simple, especially since you're already at a bank. Just buy out the chest in a world, quick up to the next one, rinse and repeat. Super simple. I spent 1 hour hopping and buying out as many tomatoes and pots of flour as I could, and at the end of the hour I had 3,000 1,185 tomatoes, and 627 pots of flour. The tomatoes managed to sell instantly, and the flour sold for 5% under, so my original investment of 25k brought me back 536k, which puts this method at over 500k GP an hour. Not too shabby. The cool thing about this method though is that you don't necessarily need the elite diary done to do it. You know, you just won't have as many in stock, but it's still a pretty viable method as a rebuild moneymaker or just a quick bit of GP. I actually covered this method all the way back in 2015 during one of my first ever unusual money making method videos, and it actually made me a lot of profit back then as well. And I really think it's always going to stay like this because the items in the chest are so cheap that you're always going to make a profit off of it. So this is always going to be viable. Now we are off to check out the Kandarin Diary. So if you complete the Kandarin Elite Diary, you actually get a 50% discount from auto when making Zami Spears into Zami Hastas. I know it's technically Hasta, but I'm gonna say Hastas because Hasta sounds better to me. So yeah, sorry. Usually it's a 300k charge, which means that you lose a fair bit of money, but with this 50% discount, it's only 150k. And when there's a 50% discount, there is money to be made. So this method also comes down to grand exchange prices. If you just buy and sell for 5% under, you probably won't make much, if any, profit at all. So before I did this, I had to check the buy and sell prices of the spear and Hasta. Zami Spears were buying for 14,326,450 GP, so I put an offer in for 500 GP higher and I bought 7 spears. After buying all of the Zami Spears, I went to Auto, who converted all 7 spears to Hastas for 1,050,000 GP, so 150k each. A Zami Hasta was selling for exactly 14.5 million GP, so I sold mine for 1k GP less at 14.999 mil. Buckle up guys, because it gets crazy here, okay? The whole process of buying the spears, turning them into Hastas, and then selling them took only 30 minutes. And the best part is, our profit was a whopping 154,350 GP. I mean, wow. I mean, who would have thought? What an incredible... Okay, no, actually, this one kind of sucked. I mean, it was unusual, you know, and it did make us money, but nah man, I'm not a big fan of this one. The methods where you have to really pay attention to grand exchange prices just to make a bit of profit of something, kind of like the Pharaoh Sceptre and like this one, you know, they do make you profit, but the, you know, the minimal profit you make off of the time it takes to make sure you get just the right sell and buy price is a bit iffy. And like I said, everything's so volatile that you never know. But I never said this was a great money making guide. I just said this was an unusual way to make money. Okay, so no complaints here. And there you have it guys, those are 6 unusual ways to make money through the achievement diary. So the first 2 that I mentioned were actually pretty solid. Finding a 2 mil an hour money making method where you can just stand at a bank is awesome, and the fact that you can buy a bond every month with the money you make from collecting free items from the NPCs is, I'm guessing for some people, very useful. The other methods of course weren't as great of money per hour, but they were unusual and weird and cool, and they made me money, and that's all that matters. Don't forget to leave any unusual money makers you guys have tried in the past or are doing right now in the comment section below. If you'd prefer not to share the method at the moment with others, you can always DM me on Twitter or Discord and I'll save it for later. Thank you guys for watching the video again today. I always have a blast making these videos and I hope you guys do really enjoy them, and it seemed you liked them based off the last one I did, so hopefully you guys like this one as well. Thank you guys again for watching. Hope to see you next time. Have a good one and peace.
Wow.